One ordinary Friday evening, I was sitting on the sofa, scrolling through my phone as usual. I had no reason to doubt my life, or the man I had spent the past 7 years with. We were married, we had built a life together, and I truly believed he was always honest with me. That evening, my husband, David, told me he wanted to go camping. He said work had been overwhelming, the pressure was getting to him, and he needed a trip to detox. He wanted to go to Yellowstone, where the air was fresh, there was no internet, and no stress from emails or work. It made sense. Everyone needs time to relax and reset. I had no reason to question it, but something felt off. David was not the kind of person who liked camping. He had always complained about the bugs, the lack of a comfortable bed, and how much he hated sleeping outside. If it was something he despised, why was he suddenly eager to do it now? Even more suspicious was how vague he was about the people going with him. When I asked, he simply said it was a few old friends. Normally, whenever he planned a trip, he would talk about it for weeks, even brag about what he was going to do. But this time, he barely mentioned it. My suspicions started to grow, but I forced myself to ignore it, telling myself I was probably overthinking. Still, when I saw the small backpack he was bringing, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. No tent, no sleeping bag, no camping gear. Who goes camping without bringing any of the essentials? I decided not to press further. I wanted to trust my husband, but deep down I knew something was not right. He left early the next morning. I hugged him goodbye, watched him get in his car, and saw him drive away down the road. The uneasy feeling in my chest didn't go away. It started as a small nagging thought, then slowly grew into something bigger. By noon, I couldn't take it anymore. I picked up my phone. I wasn't expecting to find anything, but I had to check. I opened Facebook, and then my heart stopped. A new post had just popped up on the timeline of a woman named Jessica. It was a picture of a romantic dinner by the beach, candles flickering, and 2 glasses of red wine. The caption underneath read, "A perfect weekend getaway with the most special person." I stared at the picture, my entire body going numb. Jessica was not a stranger. She was David's former coworker. And what left me completely frozen was the familiar figure of the man sitting next to her in the picture. It was no one else. It was my husband. I could not take my eyes off the image on the screen. My mind went blank. My heart pounded so hard I could hear every beat. I blinked a few times, wondering if this was some kind of mistake. But no, the face of the man in the picture was too familiar. It was David. A wave of emotions crashed over me. Anger, shock, pain, and confusion all at once. The first question that popped into my head was why? Why did he tell me he was going camping to detox? Why was he at a luxury beach resort with Jessica? Why did he think I would never find out? I started checking everything. First, I went to Jessica's profile. There was nothing too suspicious at first, but as I scrolled down through her photos, I noticed a few pictures of her and David from months ago. They were not overly intimate, but looking back now, I could see that they had been closer than I had realized. Then I checked my message history with David. I remembered that he had texted me just yesterday morning. It was a simple message. "I just arrived. There is not much cell service here. I will text you when I can." Now, as I pieced everything together, I realized it had all been a carefully crafted lie. I decided to dig deeper. I picked up my phone and checked the location tracking app linked to David's car. He had no idea that I had helped him set it up a year ago after he lost his car in a parking garage. When I opened the map, a blinking red had appeared. It was not in Yellowstone. There was no campsite. It was a luxury resort in Napa Valley. I felt like someone had just punched me in the chest. Now, there was no doubt. David had been lying to me. And worse, he actually believed I would never find out. I did not know how long I sat there, frozen in disbelief. But when I finally snapped back to reality, I felt a wave of anger rising inside me. I could not just sit there and do nothing. I had to act. I started searching for information about the hotel where David was staying. I went to the hotel's website, looked at the pictures, and compared them to the photo Jessica had posted. It was the same place where they were enjoying their so-called camping trip. I could call David right then, but I knew he would not answer. I could text him, but I did not want to waste my words on lies. I needed a different way to expose the truth. Then an idea came to me. I opened my Facebook account. I downloaded Jessica's photo, but this time, I made a small adjustment. I zoomed in, circled David's face, and added a simple caption. A camping trip to Detox seems a little farther than I expected. Wishing you both a wonderful getaway. I did not need to scream, cry, or beg. I just needed people to see the truth. I hit the post button. Within minutes, my phone started blowing up with notifications. My friends, my family, and even people who knew David began commenting. Messages flooded my inbox. Then something unexpected happened. A woman I did not know sent me a message. I am not sure if this is important, but I think I saw David and Jessica here last month. They were together. I stared at the message. Last month? This was not just a one-time mistake. It had been going on for much longer than I thought. At that moment, I knew there was nothing left to salvage. David had not only betrayed me, he had planned this for a long time, and he thought I would never find out. But he was wrong. I sat there, staring at my phone screen, feeling like the entire world was spinning around me. The message from the stranger felt like a knife straight to my heart. David had not just betrayed me over one weekend. He had been orchestrating this for a long time. I started thinking about all the signs I had ignored. The late nights he came home from working overtime. The sudden business trips that no one could confirm. The evenings he stared at his phone, quickly putting it away whenever I got close. The pieces were finally falling into place, forming a picture clearer than ever before. I was no longer heartbroken. I no longer wanted to cry. I was left with only one thought. I had to do something. I was not the kind of person who easily forgave betrayal, but I was also not someone who would break down and beg for someone to stay. If David wanted to play games, I was going to show him the consequences of his actions. I gathered all the evidence I had. The photo from Jessica's Facebook page. The GPS history from David's car. The message from the stranger confirming they had been together last month. His Google search history for romantic hotels. I was not just going to expose David. I was going to make sure he had no way out. Then I did something bold. I sent a message to David's family group chat. David, I hope you are enjoying your detox camping trip in Yellowstone. But I am a little confused because someone just told me they saw you drinking wine with Jessica in Napa Valley. I wonder if your parents think that is a new style of camping. Within minutes, my phone started vibrating nonstop. David's mother was the first to reply. David, what is going on? His brother jumped in. Napa Valley? I thought you said you were going to Yellowstone. Then a message from David appeared. Lisa, I can explain. Explain? I laughed. I went back to Facebook and made another post, but this time, I tagged David directly. After 7 years of marriage, I have learned a valuable lesson. If someone tells you they need to go camping to detox, check if they are actually detoxing at a resort with their mistress instead. Along with the post, I attached Jessica's romantic caption, the GPS evidence from David's car, and screenshots of his Google searches. The social media storm had begun. Less than an hour after I posted, David called repeatedly. I did not answer. He started texting, begging to talk. Lisa, please, I can explain. This is not what you think. Take down the post. We can talk privately. There is no need to make this a big deal. I smirked. No need to make it a big deal. He had lied to me, betrayed my trust, and now that the truth was out, he wanted me to handle it quietly? No. I sent him only one reply. David, the only explanation I need is from your divorce lawyer. A few days later, I met with my attorney. There was nothing to argue about, nothing to negotiate. I had all the proof I needed to show that David had been unfaithful. Meanwhile, David's life started falling apart. Jessica deleted her post and disappeared from social media. David's family was deeply disappointed. His mother called me, telling me she could not believe her son would do this. Our mutual friends started distancing themselves from him. David lost more than just a wife. He lost his dignity, the respect of his family, and the support of his friends. And me? I felt free. I had moved past the pain, the anger, and the betrayal. I realized I did not need someone like David in my life. After everything, I learned some valuable lessons. 1. Never ignore your intuition. If something feels off, trust yourself. Your instincts are stronger than you think. 2. The truth always comes out. You can hide a secret for a while, but eventually, everything is revealed. 3. You deserve honesty and respect. No one deserves to be deceived. If someone betrays you, do not be afraid to walk away. You deserve better. 4. The best revenge is living well. I did not need to ruin David's life. I just let him face the consequences of his actions. Now I have moved on. I focus on myself, spend time with friends and family, and explore new hobbies. Most importantly, I have found myself again. And David? He is nothing more than a lesson I will never forget.